No, there we go. Sorry about that, students and families, but good evening. I just want to welcome you all to the virtual college exploration for all Ohio students. Thank you all for joining us. I just want to give you all a few housekeeping instructions for this evening. You will ask your questions through the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen there, and one of the college representatives will be there checking and managing the chat, and all of your questions will be voiced by them. Your camera and microphones are off this evening, so we can't hear you or see you, so please make sure you're using that Q&A box. If you have interest in signing up for additional sessions, you can visit www.oacac.org to check out the schedule. And if you want to refer back to this session or any of the information that they provide for you today, please feel free to visit oacac.org for the recording of this session as well. So I will go ahead and stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to turn it over to Diane.
Great, and thank you very much. I appreciate the introduction there, Lauren. My name is Diane Canny. I am the Director of Enrollment at Ohio State Newark, and just trying to get to sharing my screen for you guys. So bear with us for just a minute and we'll get you to the presentation. And you should see a beautiful picture of campus right now. I don't want to ruin it for you, so we'll start at the very beginning. And again, my name is Diane Canny. I am the Director of Enrollment at Ohio State Newark. It's my pleasure to be with you tonight. For the next 30 minutes or so, I'm going to talk really fast and try to provide you great information about our campus with hopes that it will entice you to visit us this spring. We're going to cross our fingers, and we're hoping and praying that we'll be able to have students and their families on campus in March and April. One never knows. We're in a crazy situation right now with this pandemic, but that is what we're hoping for, students. So let's jump into the presentation. But before I begin, I do want to read this statement, and I think it's an important one. As an Ohio State community, we really value we really value diversity in ideas, diversity in skin color, diversity in any way that you can define it. And so I do want to read this quick statement to you. As members of the Ohio State University, we condemn anti-Black racism and racism in all of its forms. And we are committed to engaging, interrupting, and dismantling institutionalized racist structures. Ohio State's mission to prepare students to be leaders and engaged citizens calls us to demand and support change. Learn more about the work of Ohio State at go.osu.edu/addressing racism. I think that's a great way to start our evening together. And let's talk first about the pathways to a degree from Ohio State University, because clearly that's why you are here. And as a regional campus representative, I can tell you it is very easy to receive, to begin your Ohio State degree on a regional campus and either finish with us at Ohio State Newark or transition to the Columbus campus to finish your degree. You would simply complete 30 credit hours at or above a 2.0 GPA, and you would do this after high school graduation. So the credits that you might earn through CCP while you're in high school or in other ways are not eligible. You certainly can bring those with you. We want you to bring those credits with you, but you will not be able to apply those to this. Now, students, you might wonder, well, how long is that going to take? That will take you 2 full-time semesters. So most of our students are with us just 1 year on our campus, and then some do stay, and some will complete their degree on our campus, while others will transition to the Columbus campus. About 60% will leave our campus and transition on any given year. What I want to make sure you know is that it is the same degree, same diploma. It is from the Ohio State University. And when you start on a regional campus, everything that you do on our campus is part of your Ohio State record. So your grade point average is part of your Ohio State record. Your credits are part of your Ohio State record. When you there's a lot of great schools in Ohio and certainly in Central Ohio, students. And so when you're thinking about, should I attend Ohio State Newark or should I attend somewhere else, you have to think and remember this. And that is, when you enroll somewhere else for your first year of college, then you become a transfer student to the Ohio State Columbus campus. And that puts you right back in to that competitive admissions process that you may have not found success in to begin with. So keep that in mind. Ohio State Columbus does enroll a lot of transfer students, but the easiest and most seamless way for you to start your degree and finish your degree from The Ohio State University is actually to start on a regional campus like ours in Newark. Let's talk a little bit about that campus. I'm going to show you some photos tonight of campus, but I want to encourage you also to visit our virtual tour at go.osu.edu/visit Newark. It is fantastic. You can look at it for probably close to an hour, or you could look at it for 10 minutes and then come back to it. But you will definitely get a great view of our campus by looking at that virtual tour. This is our campus in Newark. You will find 7 academic buildings. And what this photo doesn't actually represent is that we are building. We have a building under construction that I get to talk about here in a few minutes. So we're very excited about adding that to this beautiful campus here in just a few short months. ADENA Hall is one of those buildings that you saw in that overview shot. It is our recreation center. This is free for students to use. And you can see in this photo, there are lots of different things for you to use in terms of equipment and fitness equipment. You've got stationary bikes, you've got rowing machines, ellipticals. These young women are on treadmills, of course. You've got free weights, you've got circuit training, CrossFit, and you also have access to a multi-purpose room. The multi-purpose room actually has a WellBeats program that is a virtual trainer, and you can, your option, what you want to do. One day you might come in and decide you want to do a yoga workout, or you want to do aerobics, you want to do spin. We have spin bikes for students to use, and you can check out and actually reserve that multi-purpose room for you and some friends to get a workout in. Now, ADENA Hall was just opened just a couple years ago. It was about a $3 million investment really in our students. We're very, very excited, and it remains a beautiful part of our campus. MCCONNELL Hall opened just 2 years ago. It is our most recent residence hall on campus. It houses or does have space for 120 students on campus. We do have space overall for 310 students to reside on our campus. MCCONNELL Hall, I'll talk about it a little bit later as well, but it does, I should say it does include the traditional rooms where you have just a bedroom basically that you share with another person, and a study space, and then you have the communal showers and bathrooms down the hall. The SCIDOME at the Works was just over a $2 million investment, and really a partnership with the Works Center for Technology in downtown Newark. This opened again just a couple years ago. That is our beloved Dr. Stamatikos. He teaches quite a few courses on our campus, most of them in physics. He is an astrophysicist himself, and he works part-time at NASA. But he does teach astronomy at the SCIDOME. So when we're not in a pandemic situation, I encourage you to think about taking that course with Dr. Stamatikos. The ALFORD Center is the building that I spoke of just a few minutes ago. That is, or will be, our 8th academic building on campus. It will bring to us 60,000 square feet of space, 17 laboratories, science laboratories, which we are so excited about and very much in need of. In addition to that, it will have space for faculty offices and lots of room for student nooks and student lounges where students can study when they're not in class. This will be opening in 2021. We expect it to be ready for summer term. So you could definitely have a new building to look forward to, students. Let's talk a little bit about those students that I keep mentioning. Well, our enrollment currently is 2,873. We are the largest of the regional campuses in terms of enrollment. We enroll students from about 71 of Ohio's counties. They're located here in the red. So if you are actually residing in one of those grayed out counties, we want you to enroll because we would love to represent the entire state of Ohio on our campus. But I think the other point, students, is for you to remember that when you do enroll at Ohio State Newark, you are not enrolling with just students down the street from where you live. If you live in Licking or Franklin County, you are enrolling with students from across the state of Ohio. And that's exciting for us. Not only are we pulling students from so many different parts of the state of Ohio, we are also the most diverse campus of The Ohio State University, and we're very, very proud of that. We have about 1,400 first-year students or freshmen on our campus. 39 countries are represented, and like I mentioned earlier, 310 residential students reside on our campus. Yes, these are our students. They look a lot just like you. They are the traditional aged population, which means to you, it means they're coming right from high school and enrolling at Ohio State Newark right after they graduate high school. Certainly that's probably your plan as well, and we welcome that. Again, as I mentioned earlier, our students come from lots of different places. They enroll because they want that coveted Ohio State degree, and we are kind of their doorstep into the university. Let's talk a little bit about academics now. So with academics, you're going to find that you can begin all of Ohio State's 200+ majors on our campus. The only difference is on our campus, class sizes are about 25 students on average. You're going to find the same state-of-the-art technology that you're used to on any campus of The Ohio State University. You're going to find that. A real commitment by our faculty to bring the undergraduates, which means you, into the fold in terms of their research, their scholarly writing, any opportunity that they have to pull you into what they're doing, because quite honestly, they need the help. They need help in performing research and tallying data and doing those kind of things. And they're asking our students, even first-year students, to be a part of that. Here, pictured in this photograph, is our beloved Dr. Roberts. We affectionately call him the Spider-Man because yes, he is actually in his spider lab, which he has on campus. It's actually right above our offices. And so while we are not on campus currently, we are hoping that those tarantulas are safe and in their own space and not habitating in our or living in our spaces. We can only hope that they're safe in their spaces. Ohio State Newark does have a ton of support for student success. That is something I will talk about here a little bit later. And as a student on our campus, you will have access to everything that is Ohio State, everything you can think of. You will have access to that, whether that's an academic opportunity or something outside the classroom. I mentioned this before, you can complete 9 academic majors on our campus. They're listed there for you, 3 in education, business management, English, history, nursing, psychology, and social work. And I told you earlier, and I'll repeat it here, most of our students don't stay on our campus. We welcome you to do so, but most of them have the desire to finish their degree on the Columbus campus. Yes, there is student life on our campus, and it really begins as a first-year student. You're going to be invited to join learning communities. Well, what is a learning community, you might ask? For me, in a nutshell, it is a cohort of students who you will share something in common with. For instance, if any of you are a first-generation college student, like I was, you might join that Buckeye Generation Learning Community. Now, there is an application process. The application is due by April the 1st, and then you would join this cohort, again, with students who share a common interest of yours. Engineering, of course, for engineering students, teaching for education students, Scarlet and Gray Excellence for students of color, and Global Citizens for anyone. It is a wonderful opportunity. It's one of those opportunities that is a win-win for you students. You will learn a lot. You'll have a great group of people that will share a common interest. They will likely become some of your best friends in college. You'll have great support in the classroom and outside the classroom by faculty and peer teachers. So it truly is a win-win for you. Student clubs and organizations, we have about 30 student clubs and organizations for you to take part in on any given year. And when we're not in a pandemic situation, there's certainly more to do on our campus. Right now, because we have to be careful, of course, with the group size, you're going to find more individual activities. For instance, they've recently completed a football combine where students who wanted to be timed and wanted to bench press, they did that in a single environment and not in a group environment. We still do have table tennis or ping pong tournaments. They've done a few esports as well. That's become very popular with our students. And kind of the grab and go activities that you would find like in a Build-A-Bear workshop is something else that's been done. But again, you can see the full list there. And again, when it's not a pandemic situation, there's a lot of activities for our students on campus. The honors program and Lefevre Fellows program are going to be combined for the coming year. That's a great opportunity, students, whether you want the challenge of the honors program, or if you're crazy about community service and service learning, you are a Lefevre Fellow, but you do have to apply for both of those programs. And when you're accepted, then you would be provided a $750 scholarship per semester. You have a lot of perks that come along with being a part of these programs, including a private student lounge and preferential access to study abroad when we are able to study abroad again. So lots of great opportunities. You certainly want to apply. If and when you are invited, you'll want to make sure that we have that application by April the 15th. Education abroad, I've mentioned this a couple of times. It is a wonderful opportunity for students to get to know a different culture while you're in college. For us, our programs at Ohio State Newark are held in Cuba, England, Germany, and Costa Rica. It's important that I mention those are our programs because the cost of those we keep to a very maximum of $1,000 per student. And we do that because local benefactors allow us to give scholarship money and they want to fund your programming. Now, if you do want to connect to an Ohio State program on another campus of the Ohio State University, we can do that for you. It's just that they're a bit more expensive when you're not going through our campus. Oh, and if you need a passport, if you don't currently have a passport to travel abroad, we will help you with that, which means we will pay for it. Support for student success. This is something we take very seriously on our campus. We have free tutoring if you should need tutoring for a specific course that you're in, or you could become a tutor and actually make money tutoring other students. If you're horrible at math like I am, you might want to use that Math Learning Center, which is available to students. There's a writer's studio. So if you have, if you've attended a high school, quite frankly, that hasn't prepared you for those college level writing assignments, you'll want to visit the writer's studio when you get that first collegiate writing assignment. Academic advising, you'll actually have an academic advisor assigned to you and you will meet that advisor during your orientation in the summer. The learning skills specialist is for any of you who think you might have trouble transitioning to college. You might have trouble with time management, or you know already you have trouble with time management or study skills. That office is here to support you. They are wonderful. They're life-changing. And so I certainly encourage you to think about visiting that learning skills specialist once you get to campus. For any of you who have a 504 or IEP plan, it's important that you share those plans with our Disability Services Office at least by the end of April, if not sooner. They want to make sure that they know about you and they properly accommodate you during placement testing, which occurs, it actually starts to occur in the first part of June. And of course, personal counseling is free for all students on our campus. Yes, I have my Buck ID with me. It's the same Buck ID as my friend here pictured, Newton has. It's the same Buck ID that Coach Day carries on the Columbus campus, that Justin Fields has on the Columbus campus. It's the same Buck ID. And it gives you privileges on our campus, of course, to check out a book on our campus or to check out a book on the Columbus campus at the Thompson Library. You could have lunch on our campus in Newark, or you could go on the weekends and hang out with friends on the Columbus campus and use that same Buck ID to swipe in and get food on the campus in Columbus. While you're a Buckeye on our campus in Newark, you can rush a fraternity or sorority, and you can be a part of the best damn band in the land if you are a musician. We've had plenty of students who have been musicians and been students on our campus and have taken part in being a member of the band. And you have access to everything that is Columbus and the Columbus campus, other than the events that those students have paid more for. Sometimes there are select concerts that they pay more fees for, and so you wouldn't be able to gain access to those. And of course, the coveted football tickets can be yours too. You can be eligible for those as long as you pay your acceptance fee by May the 1st. Now, hopefully a lot of you are already applying and you're in the midst of application to our campus. I can only hope that you are. If you are applying to the Newark campus, of course, you will submit the regional campus application found at apply.osu.edu. You don't want to use the common application. You want to use the regional campus application. You would pay the $60 application fee, request your official transcript, hopefully to be sent electronically to Ohio State, and you would send that transcript to the Columbus campus, not to the Newark campus. And a reminder that you must graduate from a certified Ohio high school in order to be eligible for enrollment. If you're applying to the Columbus campus, it's pretty much the same process other than a different application. So you would use the common application, keeping in mind you can't submit the common application for the Columbus campus and the regional campus application for ours. You can only apply to one campus of the Ohio State University at a time. Now, what you'll want to do though is on your application to the Columbus campus, you'll want to list the Newark campus as your second choice campus in case you are not admitted to the Columbus campus. That first deadline, of course, is Sunday. November the 15th is the early action deadline. That's just in a couple of days. So hopefully if you are applying to the Columbus campus, you are putting your finishing touches on those applications. And for regular decision, of course, it is the February 1st deadline. Now keep in mind that the Columbus campus is not requiring you to submit a standardized test score this year. Important dates, again, you already know the application for admission is open. October 1st is when the free application for federal student aid opened, and you want to make sure that you and your parents are working towards meeting that deadline. The priority deadline for Ohio State for the FAFSA is February the 1st. And I mentioned those other two application deadlines. Now, something else I think students that you might want to mark your calendar for are the Columbus campus admission decision release dates. And those are December the 11th, January 29th, February 19th, and March 26th. You might want to note those on your calendar. So when you do get an admissions decision from The Ohio State University, you're either going to be admitted, and you certainly want to read that letter carefully because you're going to be admitted if you are a resident of the Ohio State, then you are going to be admitted to a regional campus of the Ohio State University if you are not admitted to the Columbus campus. So it's important for you to read that letter exclusively and thoroughly to make sure that you know you've been admitted and to which campus you've been admitted. Now, deferred simply means they're not going to make a decision on your application right now. They're going to wait and they're going to see how you compare to other applicants through this process. And then, of course, waitlist is probably the most important decision, and the most important message I have to share with you is if you are waitlisted on the Columbus campus, we ask that you call our office and have an open dialogue with us about what you might miss in terms of deadlines if you stay on that waitlist in Columbus. Now, we are not going to change your mind. We are not trying to change your mind. We don't want to change your mind. If you want to stay on that waitlist in Columbus, that is your right, and we will support you in that. We simply want the opportunity to tell you more about the opportunities you might miss on our campus. And I've talked through quite a few of those already. The honors program, Lefevre Fellows, the learning communities, on-campus housing, scholarships, those all happen at a time where you could be waitlisted in the Columbus campus and just simply be waiting for a decision. Tuition and fees. What you're going to find about the Newark campus in comparison to the Columbus campus is we're about a third less, or about $3,000 less. Now, it's not because we offer something different than they do. We are still the Ohio State University, but when these regional campuses were started many years ago by the governor said, I want them to be accessible and I want them to be affordable, and that we are. What you're going to find here, and I don't want to confuse anybody, our room and board varies, of course, because so many of our students reside at home or they live off campus in apartments, or they just simply commute in from living with friends around the area, whether that's in Newark or the surrounding area. And so your room and board really varies. And the board that you would pay on our campus varies depending upon where you would live on campus. So there's a lot of variance there. I know it looks very confusing perhaps to some students, but the reality is we are cheaper than the Columbus campus and a real bargain for your first year of college. I love that I work for an institution that has a real commitment to affordability, and we have these programs lined up for students. The 4-year tuition guarantee locks in your tuition rate for 4 years. You can't beat that. The Buckeye Opportunity Program is for those of you who might qualify for a federal Pell Grant. If you do, the cost of attendance to you will be zero. Ohio State will pick up everything that Pell Grant doesn't. Of course, we have the President's Affordability Grants that are $1,250 per year for regional campus students. And that's just simply based on your family income. So all of these things are really important, but you can't qualify them if you don't meet that February 1st deadline for the FAFSA. That is an important requirement. Scholarships. Of course, for scholarships, you must be accepted to the Ohio State Newark campus. We do have special scholarships and merit-based scholarships. The merit-based scholarship program actually will award $4,000 scholarships to a select number of students this spring. So it's well worth your time to work with us on your scholarships. For merit-based scholarships, you don't have to do anything until you're prompted to do something after we select you, after our search committee and our scholarship committee reviews students for that. We will select finalists who will then need to write an essay prompt for us, and that's how you will qualify for that $4,000. The endowed or special scholarships will be opened after January 1st, and we will alert you of when they are open. If you are an applicant, you will know when they are open, and they close March the 15th. Let's talk a little bit about housing on campus, because usually there are plenty of students who do want to live on campus. As I mentioned before, we do have space for 310 students on campus. We have both traditional and on-campus apartments available. We do, because there's such a strong need and desire for on-campus housing, the only way to be fair is that we conduct a housing lottery. And so you would put your name in the hat by submitting your housing application by mid-April and paying the $350 housing deposit. And then you would simply wait for the decision, which would be made in late April in terms of whether or not you have on-campus housing. We typically have about 500 students apply for housing. So it definitely is worth your time. And certainly I want to encourage you, if you do apply for housing and you do want to live on campus, have a backup plan as well, which means likely an off-campus apartment option for yourself too. MCCONNELL Hall is the space that I showed you earlier. It has the traditional double rooms with the communal bathrooms and showers down the hall. Some other great and unique features of the space: we do have a 300-person multi-purpose room. There's a Block O fire pit out front, which is fantastic, especially on a night like tonight where it's a little chilly, and a sand volleyball court on the opposite side of the building. The apartments on campus are actually quite nice. This is an actual photograph of one of those apartments. You'll find that you would share a bedroom with one other student, and then you would share the rest of the suite with 3 to 5 other students. You have a bathroom and shower, a living room, and as you can see here, a nice kitchenette. The community of Newark, I really do miss it there. It is the 16th largest city in Ohio. And you'll find a very robust and active city nightlife. You'll find concert venues, outdoor adventures, because we have a lot of unique, I think, losing my train of thought here, nature to explore in and around the city of Newark. You've got bike trails that actually run through campus that connect you to hundreds of bike trails. Now, I'll also say, students, most of what a student needs on our campus, you will find on 21st Street. That's about 2 miles from campus. You've got grocery stores, Walmart, pharmacies, Chipotle, lots of fast food. And like I said, it's less than 2 miles from our campus. And then, of course, we're just 39 miles from the Cap City or from the Columbus campus. And you're going to find lots more to do in Columbus. You're going to find comedy shows and theater, concerts, lots more shopping. And of course, you've got not only Ohio State athletics, but professional sports as well. Yes, I like to say that enrolling in Ohio State Newark is easy, but you have to follow the steps. And soon you will be receiving, if you are admitted to our campus, you will receive this document, this PDF in the mail. I encourage you to look at it, review it, pin it up on your bulletin board in your room or on your refrigerator, and just check things off. I also encourage you to visit go.osu.edu/admitted students. It's a great site that is often updated with new materials, new videos, new how-to videos, especially for things that you need to get done. So definitely bookmark that. So let's review here just quickly about the benefits of enrolling at The Ohio State University at Newark. Again, as I mentioned, you are part of Buckeye Nation. I carry the Buckeye ID just like everybody else. You are part of Buckeye Nation from day one on our campus. We are affiliated with the Columbus campus, of course, and so you have the same Apple program with the iPads for all new first-year students. And students, I also want to bring to your attention the STEP program. The STEP program is actually a program for sophomores. But I think it's that important that I bring it to your attention tonight so that you put it in the back of your mind and next year you look for this opportunity. What it is it's basically a small group of students getting together with other students and with a faculty member who serves as a mentor to you, and you're learning life skills from that person. And at the end of the program, if you finish it, you will walk away with a $2,000 stipend to do something that you want to do, like go out and film or record and photograph all of the natural, the nation's parks, the national parks. That's one opportunity. And so it is a great thing for you to kind of put in the back of your mind. You also have access to everything that is Ohio State, whether that's football or the Thompson Library or research and other great opportunities. We are the closest campus to the Columbus campus. You will have a smooth transition from us to the Columbus campus. There is no new admissions application, and we can guarantee you a seat in the Columbus campus or on the Columbus campus. No other college or university can do that for you. And when you're finished with your degree, you will graduate in the shot or the shoe with the rest of your classmates. So I wanted to bring to your attention our wonderful staff. You will definitely be working with one of them one-on-one. They are here to help you through the process and to guide you and to answer your questions. I also want to encourage you to join us again for more events, campus partner events for financial aid is occurring actually right now as we speak. But Student Success will be coming up again Thursday, December the 10th, and Student Life, December the 30th. And there are a lot more planned for spring. You can see the full schedule at go.osu.edu/visit Newark for the complete schedule of those events and more. I want to encourage you to follow us on social media. We do a great job of posting on our Instagram page, and certainly the Facebook page is a great way for parents and supporters to get to know our campus as well. And with that, I will say thank you, and I will ask my colleague Wes Grunden if any questions have come in that I should address.
Yes, thank you, Diane. And we didn't really receive any questions that came through the Q&A, but I did have one for you, and you touched on it just a little bit earlier in your presentation, but it has to do with student life. And so maybe you can expand on it a little bit, but what does student life look like on campus with all the COVID-19 restrictions, and can a student still get involved?
Yeah, that's a great question, Wes. And I would say to students, yes, you can definitely still get involved. it's just going to look different right now. Like I mentioned earlier, there are going to be more individual or very small group activities where you're not touching each other. Obviously, that would be a concern. A lot of grab and go events where you're, again, something they did earlier this year, and I thought it was great. You could go in and you could grab a Build-A-Bear, take it back to your own private space and build that bear. And I do believe they were connecting students. Once you got back to your space, you were then connected via Zoom if you wanted to zoom in and build your bear while meeting other people. You're going to find that. You're going to find more esports. You're going to find less team sports, of course, until we can get on the other side of this pandemic and be safe. That's just what we're forced to do. But there's definitely an opportunity to get involved on campus. And I always like to tell students, if you're not involved on campus or you're bored on campus, I oftentimes say you have to look in the mirror. Are you putting yourself out there? Are you risking things to get to know someone? And a lot of that is just extending yourself and getting out of your comfort zone.
Thank you, Diane. And I do have one more question for you, and I feel like it will really sum up the evening. And that is, students don't want to worry about falling behind. And so to the students with us this evening, what should they be doing right now at this time of year?
Yeah, great question, Wes. And I would say to students, do what you're doing tonight by zooming in. I know this is not the college search you were thinking you were going to have by doing it virtual, but it's what we have right now. So let's make the best of it. We are all trying to make the best of it for you. We are putting ourselves out there. We are hosting lots of events. I know for us, we have Buckeye Visit Days every month for students. And we also have those campus partner events coming up that I've spoken to you about. You have to put in the time. And I know sometimes it's awkward. I know sometimes you've got Zoom fatigue like we all do, but it's the best we have right now. So I encourage students not only to take part in these Zoom events, but if you have not started your application for admission, you should definitely jump on that. Now, thinking about our campus, our deadline is not November 15th. There's no worry about Ohio State and Newark. You've got until literally June or July for our campus. You've got plenty of time to submit an application. The deadline that I mentioned earlier was for the Columbus campus. But I still believe if you're going to apply to our campus and to others, you need to really dive in and become familiar with what the opportunities are. Start your checklist, start your Excel document of timelines and things like that so that you're well informed. And when you do have that decision to make on or before May the 1st, you are more than ready to make that decision.
Great. Thank you so much, Diane.
You're welcome, Wes. And with that, I will turn it back over. I will say thank you. Appreciate your time tonight, students and parents. And I will turn it back over to Lauren.
Thank you, Diane. Thank you, Wes, for those great questions. I want to thank all the parents and students who joined us this evening. And just a few things before we end the session. Once you all close out the session today, a window will pop up with a 4-question survey. If you could please fill that out, we'd really appreciate it. We want to try to make these sessions the best that we can for you all. And as I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, please feel free to sign up for additional sessions, and you can check out the schedule at oacac.org. And also, if you would like to refer back to any of this awesome information that Diane shared with you, please feel free to also view this recording at oacac.org as well. So with that, we would like to say thank you again for joining us for the Virtual College Exploration Series. And I hope you all have a great night.